What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the DJS Toys and TFC Toys Skybreaker, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale IDW Ultra Magnus. This was sent to me by Brian W. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. I definitely was interested in looking at this. I'm not getting it for myself. I know. People have been asking me, how could I not get this for myself? And I just don't want to start IDW collection. That's the bottom line. But this thing is beautiful. Out of box, it comes with these folded down to the side. There's a lot of display options for these things. Ultimately, I think you're going to want to fold it up, clip it into place, and then rotate it so you have this on the front. And that's kind of his, default IDW-ish look. But again, there's lots of options with that. When we go over the accessories, I'll go over what you can do. They sit pretty high away from his head. So, that is a signature thing for this Ultra Magnus. But for the sake of the rest of this part of the review, I'm just going to have you be able to look closer at the figure. It is fully painted in this. It's not quite the Ultra Magnus blue. It's like a lighter blue. But you got that. You got a darker metallic blue, gold paint, gunmetal paint, silver, pearlescent white, red. You got little accents and details all over, tampo details. It just looks phenomenal. You have little die cast pieces here in the feet, in the lower, I guess that's the ankle. You got die cast here in the wheels. It is pretty hefty. I will take a weight later. Here's the back. Very nice, compact backpack. Everything kind of folds up. Obviously, this is his truck cab. And then you do have the butt flap here, which is iconic for this character. I mean, it just looks great. All right, let's go over the articulation on this guy. The head is on a ball joint. Gets back to there, down to there, side to side, and rotates around. The neck panel itself can be pushed in, so just be aware. Make sure it's all the way up for robot mode. Nice looking head sculpt. Shoulder rotates around a ratchet joint. Really nice, strong ratchet. Up to the side, up to there, you can move this pylon out of the way and get it even higher. So it goes all the way up. Really nice articulation. You can see there's a peg that I just pulled out. That peg will allow you to get a butterfly joint all the way to there. That's really, really well made. Rotation at the bicep at a cut joint. You have a single joint elbow, but it gets you well past 90 degrees, and it's ratcheted. There's a lot of ratchets on this thing, like an impressive amount. You have in and out movement at the wrists, rotation at the wrist, individual articulated fingers. The finger articulation is phenomenal. This is some of the best hands I've seen in a while. It does have, ball joints, so you get a little bit of splay, but the fingers themselves do articulate at 3 hinges and then a ball joint at the base. Thumb is on a ball joint and 2 hinges. So you can get, thumbs up. That works well. Coming down to the waist, you have a ab crunch and side to side tilt right here. So it goes down to there and back to there, side to there, and to there. Pretty cool. A lot of figures don't even have that side to side movement. I thought it was pretty neat. Rotation at the waist. That works well. Nice tight joints. Tolerances are pretty good on this overall. Hip skirt, you have one on the front on a ball joint, on the side on a double jointed hinge, and on the back you have the butt flap. Legs are on a ratcheted joint. Actually, you can pull this down. Kick up to there. Really strong ratchet. It does eventually collide with that hip skirt, so you can't go higher than that. But back really strong ratchet. This one's actually almost maybe too strong, but back to there. And out to the side, up to there. The hip skirt does move with the ball joint on the hip, so just be aware of that. For the legs, this outward movement, by the way, this is the first tab, or the first click on the ratchet. It's pretty wide out. You know, it's not horrible, but I think it could have been better. It's okay. I just wish it was a little bit less wide. Double jointed knee, so you get this ratcheted knee up here. I'm going to bend the knee again. And then if you unpeg this, you get this extra knee joint. Double jointed, full bend. Incredible. Coming down to the feet, ankle tilts out to there, back to there, forward and back. And a toe tilt built in for a walking pose. All right, now I'll take a look at the gimmicks on this guy, and there's a lot going on. He has a lot of little features and accessories. And we'll start with the light up gimmicks. So they give you this little printout. It tells you the batteries you need. So we'll start with the head. You need one CR927. For the shoulder pylons, you need two CR927s. And then for the matrix, you'll need an AG1 or LR61, two of those. So here's what the matrix chamber looks like. Here's what those other ones look like. So you have three of these, two of these, or one of these. So let's look at that. So if you rotate the head to the back and you pull off the back of the head, and I didn't mean for it to come off that quickly, but here is the battery compartment. So that's going to take a CR927. And when you put it back, make sure you put the LED side in first. So just get that inserted there. And then put the back of the head back on to retain it. And by the way, I forgot to mention, these ears do rotate. Now, I don't have the batteries. I've been using up all my batteries on putting them in for figures that were sent to me for review. So I'm going to put a picture up here thanks to Matt Partsformer, who allowed me to share his picture. The eyes look great. Look really good. We also have the matrix chamber. So if you come to here, you can open this up and you'll see there's a little tab on the bottom of the blue part. It's going into a slot on the red part. So that's how it holds together. But notice how it pulls out the chamber. I've never really seen anything like that on a transforming figure. Maybe like a, Flames toy or something like that. But this, I mean, that's very neat. And if you pull out the matrix, you'll see there is a battery compartment in there. You do have to take this out and put two of those AG1s in there. But the matrix alone is beautiful. Nice gunmetal die cast with copper and then translucent blue. That all looks really nice. It has little clips on the end, which makes it easier for him to hold. But go ahead and push that in and then tab in that blue piece in the front. Really phenomenal. And the last piece is the shoulder cannons for gimmicks. You can fold these down. And on the inside here, you'll see a battery compartment right here. So you can pull it off without making it go flying. Yep. And then there's the battery compartment. This is going to take the CR927, just like the head. And if I got a picture of this, I'll put that up on the screen over here. But this also has a gimmick here. You can slide that open and you can see translucent red with gold paint. Just gorgeous stuff here. And I'll fold this one down too. And you have a lot of options with this. You can fold it down on the side. You can fold it down on the back. You can display it this way or this way. It clips into place and locks in there. Obviously, this is the, weapon mode. And we get more weapons built in. So we get this pop-ups, cannons on the chest, which is so cool. I really think this is something special here. All right, now we'll take a look at the accessories. We do get two of these missile pods meant for his shoulders. So come to the side here, see a tab here. This will peg in right here. If you push in on this back piece, it'll open this up and reveal his 2 missiles. That's very cool. This thing is just full of surprises. And now he's got 3 sets of cannons and missiles. But there's more. He does come with a blaster, like I mentioned earlier, magnet in the end to turn on those light features. This has a tab right here. I don't think this has a light up feature, but if you open up the hands, you get this around the handle. It's actually a little tricky to get the fingers through here, but that tabs in extremely well, like very securely. Look at that. You know, just the way the fingers pose, even the pointer finger is on the trigger. Love it. We also get this super mega hammer. Like, it's crazy. It's got a ratchet joint here. It's got posable rockets on the back with silver and red paint. I mean, it's just absurd how much effort and detail they put into this. It has the same thing. It's got a tab here. So we can open up the hand, fingers around. And to my surprise, it's a little bit heavy. So, you know, he has a little bit of a weight issue with it, but he can hold it. It doesn't fall out of the hand, but it does make the hand tilt just because of the weight. But, I mean, that is a phenomenal looking weapon. If you prefer, like, you want it to be resting on the ground, you could do something like this. Just for the weight issue. Kind of get it resting on the ground and then have him holding it like a staff. And that works too. I'll put these back up. So you could have something like this. You know, that works. All right, and one accessory I almost forgot is the alternate face. So here's the stock face. Just kind of a straight face. We can come up to here and pull it off. It's just tabbed in there. That went flying. I'm going to have to go find that. And then we can tab the new face in same spot. And now you have a yelling Magnus face. That looks really nice. All right, for size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. You can see it fits in well in robot mode. Nice tall Magnus robot mode. And one thing I've been trying to do more often recently is taking height and weight for people. So height comes up to about 10.5 inches at the top of the head, 10 3/4 to the top of the ears. And for weight, we have 2 pounds, 1/4 ounces, or for international folks, 915 grams. So pretty hefty figure here. You know, that's a lot of weight for a single figure. And also, I wanted to show it to you with a more like IDW styled Optimus. So here's a picture from my buddy Matt Partsformer, just so you can take a look at that. And just for fun, there it is next to the Fans Toys Marg, their version of Ultra Magnus, a G1. And about the same size, obviously different proportions, totally different styling, but pretty similar in height. I think the head is a little bit smaller, but overall, you know, this is going to fit well with the Masterpiece Collection. All right, now let's get Skybreaker transformed into his vehicle mode. And I was really surprised at how fun and simple the transformation is. The instructions weren't that good because it wasn't that clear, but once I got it there, I was like, oh, okay, it all makes sense. So we're going to start with the legs. Come down to here, and we'll angle the foot out, pull out on the wheel, rotate this wheel 180 degrees, push it back in, rotate it back up. Then come to here, you'll lift this up, you'll see there's two little triangular ridges. They're going to go into slots in the foot. That kind of holds the foot in place. So just push that down. You'll see it locks the foot. Come to here, you're going to unpeg this from here. Rotate this back and rotate this down and out of the way. So it sits like this. Open up this panel here. And we're going to do two motions. We're unpegging the knee, but we're also pulling this back. And you got to go all the way until it basically becomes embedded in there. And then you're going to bend here at this knee to bring it up. So it ends up like this. And this looks like it's all the way in. It's not. It goes a little bit more. All right. Leave this open, leave that open. This can come down, knee pad, and so like that. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. As I've promised recently, I'm just going to show it to you. I'm not going to cut it, but I'm going to do it quicker and maybe not talk through the whole thing. I love that this, that's like a very iconic transformation step for most Ultra Magnuses, so that's kind of cool to me. Unclip this, bring this down, rotate that up, open this up, bring this all the way back. Make sure you get it all the way flush right here. Bring that up, straighten that up, leave this out, bring this down. All right, now both the legs taken care of, we can take care of the hip skirts. So come to the back here, and we'll unpeg this from here. Bring this through all the way so it sits flush here. Close the legs up. And on this side, you're going to tab the butt flap into the legs there. So it just locks that in place. And then you can tab these together right here. And then you're going to bring these hip skirts down. They're on a double hinge. And tab them into the side of the hips. See on this side, bring this down, tab that in the hip. All right, now we'll take care of the upper body. The bottom is pretty much done. We'll take the head, rotate that 180 degrees, push that down into this cavity. Rotate the ears, try to hold it down lower so that you're not putting stress on the end of that ear. Then we'll take care of the arms. So for the arms, we'll rotate this back and come to here. You can accordion this section back so it sits like that. We'll rotate the gun so you have the button to open it on the outside. Then we can do the same thing on this side. Rotate that back. Make sure your hand is in a fist like this so it can hide away underneath that. And rotate this out. Okay. Now we're going to open up this backpack. So lift this up out of the way. You can see there's two pegs that are clipped in to the back of that truck. That'll allow you to take these sections and pull them out, untab them, and then bring them forward. So like that. Just angle this out a little bit to give yourself some space. Right? Same on this side. Unpeg this from the side here. It's actually pegged in down there. And on the back, rotate this around, angle this out a little bit just to give yourself some space. So end up like this. Come to here, and I thought this was pretty genius, but you're going to open up this, angle this out. This will rotate up on this hinge. And then there's a double hinge here, so you got to accordion that double hinge in until it sits all the way in there. Right, and you can kind of see how things are going to end up lining up, but bring that down. Do the same thing. Oh, and we can close this up on the outside. It actually tabs back in. Really smart stuff. All right, same on here. I'll do it again. Open this up. This was a little trickier because you got to get past this little peg here. So just rotate that out of the way so you can get it past. and angle this out, accordion this up on the double hinge. It's a tight double hinge, so you got to really work that. Bring this down. Bring this down, tab that in, and now we'll take care of this. So you'll see the peg right in the middle. Tab that together. Really secure tab. Back here, you'll see 2 pegs on the back of each arm. They're going into slots here. So hold this down and tab it in. It's easier if you do them individually than if you do them together. All right, now that we've got those in, now you can peg this back one in right here in between the arms. And just make sure that's all squeezed together. This should be flat. This will peg in right here on the back of this arm. If it doesn't, that means you don't have this in all the way. That's a tight fit, so make sure those 2 pegs are in. Bring this in, tab that in right there. Bring this up, tab this in to the outside of that. That's all locked in place. We'll do it again over here. Tab that in, bring this up, tab this in to the bottom of this. You might need to play with the, locations to get everything squared away. But there's the back of the truck pretty much done. We're in the home stretch. So come to the front here. Unpeg this. This unlocks this. So pull this all the way up. And that is all the way up. It's a small piece of glass here. But put this back in. This will lock that up. So you can't push this down now. Really smart stuff. On the back here, you're going to straighten this up. You'll see there's a cavity here in the back. That is to fit the head. So there's 2 slots here and 2 circular tabs. So make sure... Oh, and we also had to slide this forward. My mistake. Now you have the space for the head here. So bring this back. Clip it in onto these. Come to the bottom. We'll open up these wheels. They really lock in place. They're secure. Transbot should have done something like that. Bring these up. These are also very secure. All right, and there is the DJS Skybreaker in vehicle mode, and this looks awesome. I love the way this turned out. Very IDW-esque. I'll put an image here, if I can find one, of Ultra Magnus's alt mode. But I love the look of this cab. Overall, it's very cohesive. Solid thing. Stays together, which I was pretty impressed. The head fits just perfectly in there to allow for rotation at the cab. So you can't turn, which is awesome, That's great. These still work as guns, so you can move them up and down. You can push them out. Lots of nice details overall. You can come to the back here. This is pretty clean as well. Obviously, it does look like his feet, but has features. So you can fold these down, flip this out, and you get a little ramp on the sides, which I just thought, that's cool. Cool little feature. You also get a ramp here, kind of hidden. It was there the whole time. I just didn't notice it. And those can fold down. That's really cool. It doesn't hinder anything in the robot mode, It's just there. And you don't even notice it until you go to fold it out, which I think is a really cool way to do it, Just hidden type of feature. Really neat. We can still mount the weapons here in vehicle mode. So weapon storage, my favorite thing. Let's just put this stuff away. Put that away. That away. This does clip into here. So make sure you clip that back in. It has so much going on. You can take these and mount them right here. One side needs the peg and one side needs the slot. So this one's the peg, this one is the slot. So again, smart designs here. But there you go for that. You can also take the blaster. This will peg in right here onto the side of the weapon, the vehicle mode. Either side, doesn't matter, whichever one you want. And then we can take this hammer. So this has a ratcheted joint right here. So fold that all the way down so it's flat like this. On the top here, you'll see 2 slots back here and then 2 slots in this blue piece, in this dark blue piece. So that's where these 2 pegs are going to go in. And it's a little tricky to get it, open. The tolerances are pretty tight, but you can kind of get that pushed open. Push it into one side first. And let me get you a better angle. Push it into one side first. And then get it into the other side. Squeeze it together, and now you've got storage for the hammer. Just spectacular. Love this. Our first size comparison, there it is next to the Takara Tomy Masterpiece Ultra Magnus. It is quite a bit smaller, like just overall, not just the cab, but proportion-wise. You can even see the wheels are smaller. So alt mode is definitely smaller. I don't know if the IDW thing makes a difference, but it is smaller overall. I still think it's pretty cool. It will fit into a Masterpiece display, especially with other IDW figures. But yeah, it is a little bit smaller than MP scale trucks. So final recommendations on the DJS Toys Skybreaker. This is a phenomenal figure. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 strong recommendation. For a first figure in the Masterpiece line, I know they did some Legends. This is outstanding. The level of paint detail, accents, weapons, accessories, gimmicks, even the transformation is relatively simple, straightforward. Alt mode looks appropriate for, what it's supposed to be, IDW, but not for me, but it looks great. I mean, it does everything. It does everything. It really is a knockout figure for their first one. I think this company could be a contender for Masterpiece in general, right? They just are making some incredible things. Now, they do have a 6-shot coming, as well as I think they just revealed a Shockwave. And those will be in IDW styling as well. But, I mean, I'm just blown away about how cool this figure is. It really impressed me. That's it for today. Thanks to Brian W. for sending his review. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.